Let's take a trip back to the early 2000s for a second. Remember those flip phones? And remember that super satisfying chirp of a push-to-talk phone? Yeah, that one. It was like the ultimate way to get a hold of your entire crew instantly. But then, poof, it seemed to just vanish. Or did it? Let's find out what really happened to the walkie-talkie phone.
You know what I'm talking about, right? That one dedicated button on the side of your phone. You just press it, and boom, your voice was broadcasting to a whole group of friends or coworkers. You didn't have to dial, you didn't have to wait for an answer. It was just instant, one-to-many communication. It honestly felt like something out of a spy movie, and for a hot minute, it was absolutely everywhere.
Well, here's the big twist in the story. That technology, it didn't die, not even close. It didn't become obsolete. It actually went in the complete opposite direction. It got a massive upgrade, it was standardized, and it became so unbelievably critical that now it's a huge part of our global infrastructure, just kind of hiding in plain sight.
So yeah, this is not a story about something ending. It's a story about a massive, massive evolution.
Today, the official name is Mission Critical Push-to-Talk, or MCPTT for short. And this isn't some random feature from a single phone company anymore. No. This is the official global standard set by the 3GPP. That's the international group that basically makes the rules for all our mobile tech. So it went from a cool consumer gimmick to an absolutely essential professional lifeline for people like police, firefighters, and paramedics.
So how's it work now? Well, it's a pretty brilliant mix of modern software and hardware built just for this. It all works through app integration. A great example is Microsoft Teams, which has its own walkie-talkie feature. But here's the key. To make it truly instant, rugged phones like Samsung's X-Cover series have a dedicated programmable button. You press that one key and the app instantly fires up and broadcasts your voice over cellular or Wi-Fi. It's the same simple idea, just powered by way more sophisticated tech.
Okay, so if this stuff is so advanced now, who's actually using it day in and day out? The answer? Well, it might surprise you.
To really get a sense of the scale we're talking about, just look at this. Our source material calls push-to-talk a massive global industry standard. This isn't a niche thing. We're talking millions of frontline workers across dozens of industries using it right this very second.
And just look at the variety of people who rely on this. Of course, you've got public safety and first responders, that's a given. But it's also huge in retail and hospitality for coordinating on a busy store floor, in logistics and warehousing to manage giant complexes, in transportation for drivers and dispatchers, and even for utility crews out in the field who need hands-free communication. It's really the invisible backbone of coordination for so many businesses.
Want a hard number? Let's look at South Korea. A single, nationwide public safety network provides this mission-critical service to over 330 different public safety organizations. That's police, fire, EMS, even the military, all talking instantly on one single standardized system. I mean, that is just a massive scale.
And to bring it back to something we can all picture, just think about a huge retailer like Walmart. They've rolled out literally hundreds of thousands of rugged devices with this feature built in. An employee sees a spill, they press one button, and bam, the cleanup crew is on their way. A customer needs a price check, one button press, and they get an answer from somebody all the way across the store. It's all about radical efficiency. Okay, but this all brings up a really important question. If this just works over apps and the internet, why can't we all just use, WhatsApp or Signal? Why do first responders actually need their own special dedicated networks for this?
Well, the answer comes down to three things that are totally non-negotiable for them, things your standard internet app just can't deliver. The first is prioritization, which means your message has to get through, no matter what. The second is resilience, meaning the system has to work even when everything else is failing. And the third is interoperability, so that everyone can talk to everyone else, seamlessly. So let's really break down the difference here. First up, prioritization. You know how during a big event or an emergency, the cell networks get totally flooded. Your WhatsApp message might get delayed or just not go through at all. But on a special MCPTT network, a first responder's call gets priority. It literally jumps to the front of the line. Then there's resilience. A consumer app completely relies on the public internet. If the cell towers go down, it's totally useless. But these special networks, they have hardened infrastructure, and they can even switch to something called direct mode, which lets the phones talk directly to each other, like actual walkie-talkies. And here's the crucial thing to understand. An encrypted app like Signal is great for privacy, but that doesn't solve for guaranteed delivery or reliability when things get really bad.
So what we've really got here is a modern push-to-talk that exists in two parallel worlds.
It's pretty much everywhere, but it's a whole lot better where it really matters.
And here's the big takeaway. Push-to-talk on public networks, the kind you might use at a retail job, is awesome for commercial use. It's efficient, it works great under normal circumstances, but it comes with zero guarantees. On the other hand, mission-critical PTT on those special networks is built specifically for the absolute worst-case scenario. It guarantees priority, security, and resilience. So the walkie-talkie phone never died. It just evolved, becoming both a super useful business tool and an unbreakable lifeline.
So the next time you see a first responder carrying a tough, rugged-looking phone, you'll know what's really going on. It's not just a phone. It's the powerful, modern-day descendant of that old walkie-talkie. Which kind of makes you wonder, right? What other invisible technology is out there, powering the world all around you, hiding in plain sight?